And so I'm really looking forward to just sitting down and reading. Literally, it sounds like a dream. Hey everyone, I'm going to be sharing a fall reading vlog with you guys today. I feel like this is going to be the perfect way to just get into the fall mindset. I'll say I'm not super sure which books I'm going to read this weekend. I'm going to try and pull stuff from my fall TBR, which I posted last week, but I'm kind of just going with the vibes. I do want to kind of stick with fall themed books, but which one specifically, I don't know yet. So we will see how I'm feeling after I finish my current reads. The book that I really want to finish this weekend is The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman. This is the book I'm currently reading. I'm like halfway through. This book is really dense, and I feel like it's the kind of book that you just need to like sit down and read it, and I really haven't had the opportunity. I've been like reading it bits and pieces here and there, and so I feel like I've been like struggling to get through it. So I feel like I just need this weekend to sit down and finish it. That, I would say, is my top goal for the weekend. If I can finish this book, I will be happy. It's not that I'm not enjoying it. I just feel like I've been reading this for 3 weeks now and I'm ready to move on to something else. But I don't want to abandon this, and I feel like I haven't really given it a fair chance because I have just been reading it like sporadically. So hopefully this weekend this book is checked off the list. I also have a book that I'm listening to on audio, and that book is Finale by Stephanie Garber. It is the third book in the Caraval. I think that's how you say it. I thought it was Caraval, and then I'm listening to the audiobook and I think they said Caraval. So anyways, that trilogy, I read the first 2 books earlier this year, and I'm determined to finish it before the end of this year. So I'm listening to that on audio. I think I'm like halfway through, so I know it's not, I didn't include it on my fall TBR, but it's a fantasy, and I feel like that ties in enough with fall that like it goes with the vibes of the weekend. So I have a couple of errands that I need to run, and I might also want to like go out for a walk or something. I don't know if I'm gonna want to like sit the whole weekend. I don't know, maybe I will, but I want the option that if I do want to go out and do something, that I can still be reading. So I have that to listen to as well. So it is currently 9:50, and I need to go and pick up Phoebe's prescription. So that will be the first step for today, as I'm gonna go pick that up and then get some coffee, I'm thinking, on the way, and then I guess come back and start reading. Okay, I have got coffee. It is a Autumn Moon latte from Summer Moon. I haven't been to Summer Moon in so long, and I was driving past it on the way back from the pharmacy, so I was like, I'm gonna go in there because I used to love their drinks. So so yummy. Okay, I'm gonna take this home and then we're gonna start reading. So it's currently 11:20. I have some apple brown butter cookies that I'm gonna eat, which, you know what, I didn't have breakfast this morning, but it feels a little too early for lunch, so my unnatural solution is to eat some cookies from Whole Foods. So good. And I have my coffee, and I think I'm gonna go sit outside in the backyard for a little bit to start my reading because the weather's just so nice. Put on some fall music and just dive into The Bright Sword. Okay, I've moved inside. I finished book 2, so I am now 370 pages in. I read about 60 pages. Brief interlude because somebody threw up on the carpet, so I had to clean that up. But I'm moving inside now, and I'm gonna keep reading The Bright Sword. I'm really enjoying it. I feel like there was kind of a lull, and I feel like the story's picking back up, and I really don't know where it's gonna end up. But I guess book 3, each book has kind of wrapped up its own like little story. But I'm not sure where we're going in this next book. I think they're starting a new quest, so we'll see. Okay, it is about 2:30. I am like 425 pages-ish about into this. I don't really know how I feel about it. There's the main story that's happening, but then we keep bouncing back and getting like backstory about the other characters and their like adventures and stuff, and I feel like it's dragging the story out. So I don't really know. I want to really finish book 3 today. That's like another 100 pages, which I think is totally doable. Maybe a bit more. But I don't know. I feel like I would maybe enjoy this if I was like more familiar with the King Arthur legend, because I'm not. This is like my first exposure to it. But I feel like I am enjoying it more, being able to like sit and just read it, as opposed to like consuming little bits and pieces over a long period of time, which is what I have been doing. So I am enjoying it. It's just, I feel like it's kind of dragging out more than it needs to. I'm gonna go make myself a little snack plate because I'm feeling a little peckish, and then I'm gonna come back and keep reading. Okay, it's 5:30 and I just finished part 3 of The Bright Sword. I think that's the best book so far. I'm a little surprised at how big of a role like religion has played in this story, with like Christianity versus the old gods, and maybe that's common in this kind of world, but I'm just a little surprised at how prevalent it is in the story. Like it's like a critical central aspect of the story. Maybe that's just common knowledge and I just don't know, because like I said, this is like my first exposure to anything King Arthur related, but that was a little bit of a shock. The third part was definitely better than parts 1 and 2 in my opinion. The quests that they were going on I thought was a bit more interesting. I don't know, as I went into part 3 I didn't really know where it was going, and now I really don't know what's gonna happen in part 4, because you kind of thought you knew where it was going and then it did not work out how you thought it was gonna work out, and now everything is kind of like where do we go from here? So yeah, I don't know. I only have 140 pages left. That's how long the last book is, and I feel like in theory I could probably finish this tonight, but I won't beat myself up. I won't beat myself up if I don't finish it tonight, but I'm gonna try because I feel like it's possible. I've read like a good chunk today. I think I've read about 250 pages, so I feel like an extra 140 is like nothing, right? She says, but we'll see. And I guess I will update y'all in a little bit to see how much more I've read. Okay, I read a little more. I'm gonna go eat dinner, and then I'm gonna watch Bake Off, and then and read some more after dinner. So TBD on how much I read tonight. It is 10 p.m. I think I'm gonna read for maybe like another 30 minutes. This is the time that I normally read, and I normally fall asleep when I'm reading, so I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I feel like I'm probably gonna read for like 20 minutes and then go to sleep. So The Bright Sword is not gonna be finished tonight, but hopefully I can finish it tomorrow morning. Okay, it is now Sunday afternoon. I got up a little late this morning. I ended up reading about 50 pages of The Bright Sword last night, and then I finished it this morning. And can I just say, I am so happy to be done with this book. This was definitely one that I went in with really high expectations, expecting it to be great, and to be totally honest, it just did not meet those expectations. I'm happy I read it, but I am rating it 2.5 stars. My main issues with it is that it was really boring at some points. I was just like not interested in the story, and it also, with the flashbacks, it like pulled away from the main storyline. So the main story was like losing its momentum because he kept stopping to like flashback to these stories about the other characters. Now, I feel like if you are really into King Arthur, you might really enjoy this, because apparently all the characters in this book are like side characters in all the other King Arthur stories, and so you get a bit more information and background about them. But as somebody who is, like I said, this is my first exposure to King Arthur mythology, this was just like so meh for me. So, and for it being so big as well, for it to be like so disappointing, yeah, maybe it would be better on audiobook, because each chapter is kind of like a story, at least with like the flashbacks. So if you are considering it, then maybe consider listening to the audiobook. I know the audiobook's like 27 hours though, so just something to keep in mind. But yeah, I think that there is a certain audience that this book is for, and I was not that certain audience. I also ended up listening to about just under 2 hours of finale yesterday. I was listening to it at like 1.75 speed, but I got a good chunk of that in. So I had the 2 hours ish of my audiobook, and then I read about 370 pages of The Bright Sword total. So I'm happy with that. I'm now moving on to my next book. I was really debating what I wanted to read, and I'm thinking, because that book was so dense and heavy, I want something light. So I am gonna read Shady Hollow next. This is a cozy mystery. I don't think I've read a cozy mystery before. I have read cozy fantasies, and they can be kind of 50-50 for me. Sometimes I feel like they're too cozy, like there's just not enough plot. But I'm wondering if, with it being a mystery, because there's the murder mystery aspect, that hopefully gives it enough plot to keep it interesting. But I have really high hopes for this, and I feel like this is just gonna be so cute. So I guess we will see what I think. There's literally the cutest little map in here too. I'm just so excited to read this. And I don't know what I'm gonna do if this one lets me down as well. But we'll see. Okay, I have read 60 pages of Shady Hollow and I'm enjoying this so far. A toad has been murdered, and the main character is a fox who works for the local newspaper and is trying to solve the murder herself. But it's also multiple POV, so it's jumping around to the different townsfolk. But it's very lighthearted, or I guess as lighthearted as a murder could be. But it reads really easy, and the chapters aren't too long either. So this is fun. I'm enjoying it. It's cute. Okay, full transparency, it is 10:30 and I really haven't done that much reading since that last update. I'm 85 pages in, so I'm about halfway, and I'm really enjoying this, like, a lot. Like, I was hoping I would like it, and like I'm liking it more than I thought I would. Like I said, I've never read a cozy mystery before, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. Sometimes I don't really like reading mystery thrillers because I feel like I'm always on edge reading them. I get scared very easily, and so I feel like I guess the thing about mystery thrillers is you feel like you have to keep reading because you have to figure out what happens, but I don't always like that. So this is really nice that it's just a bit more lighthearted, and I don't know if it's because they're woodland creatures or if it's the writing style, but regardless, I'm really enjoying it. It's kind of fun. We're going around meeting all the different characters as the main character is like interviewing, trying to figure out what happened that night. So I'm enjoying this. I have no clue who the culprit is. I really have no thoughts. I'm just vibing with the story. But I think I'm probably gonna read maybe for 30 minutes ish, and then I'm probably gonna call it quits for the night, and I think that will be the end of my weekend reading. Okay, it is now Monday. I just wanted to give a kind of recap of everything I read this weekend. So like I said yesterday, I did finish The Bright Sword. This was my goal for the weekend, was to finish the book, so I feel like I have succeeded in achieving my reading goals for the weekend. I'm sticking with my 2.5-star rating. I think if I had borrowed this from the library instead of buying it, I probably wouldn't have finished it. I probably would have DNF'd it, but because I bought it, I struggle with this. Because I bought it, I felt like a responsibility that I needed to finish it. So, I don't know if I'll donate it. I didn't dislike it so much, but yeah, it just really wasn't for me. It was too heavy, and maybe I just don't really like super dense, slow, boring fantasy. So there we are. I didn't read that much more Shady Hollow last night. I fell asleep pretty fast. So I'm at 89 pages, which is fine. I'm happy with that. So I read 461 pages this weekend, which, given that I wasn't reading the whole time, I kept I kept getting distracted, but I was doing other stuff as well. So I feel like that's pretty solid for my weekend. And then of course I have the like hour 45 that I listened to finale. So I'm thinking next is gonna be finishing this, and my finale loan is due back at the library. So as I own a physical copy somewhere over here, I might pick that up after I finish Shady Hollow. But thank you for coming along with me for this reading vlog. Let me know if you like these kinds of videos. This was super fun to film. So if you guys like these, then I will definitely make more of them in the future. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.